Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly earn respect, inspire trust, and navigate their relationships with ease, while others constantly face misunderstandings and hurt feelings? In this video, we're going to reveal how the words you speak, the secrets you keep, and even the silence you choose can have a profound effect on the quality of your relationships and overall well-being. Stick with us until the end, and you'll not only learn how to avoid damaging mistakes in your daily interactions, but also discover practical strategies to foster deeper connections, promote empathy, and create lasting harmony in your life. You won't want to miss these insights, as they can transform the way you communicate with others and help you build a foundation of trust and respect. So make sure to stay with us throughout this video. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. Do not speak about private matters that aren't yours to share. Never speak of private matters that are not yours to share. This principle is both simple and profound, rooted in the foundation of respect and the nature of human relationships. Each person carries their private world, a sanctuary that goes far beyond physical spaces, beyond walls, roofs, or even visible boundaries. This private realm isn't merely about possessions or physical privacy. It is an intimate space deep within the heart, where thoughts, emotions, dreams, and vulnerabilities reside. It is where one's most personal truths, fears, hopes, and dreams are stored, often hidden from view, because they are too sacred to be exposed to the outside world. To breach this sacred space without permission is not only an intrusion but a betrayal of trust. Trust is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship, whether it's between friends, family, colleagues, or loved ones. It creates the foundation upon which bonds are built and nurtured. When someone chooses to share their private thoughts, they are offering a part of their being to another. To disregard this trust, to reveal these private matters to others, disrupts the delicate balance of respect and intimacy that exists between people. It is a shattering of the invisible yet deeply felt connections that form our relationships. Consider private matters as a protective cloak, akin to clothing that shields the body from external elements. These secrets, these personal stories, are far more than just words or facts. They are the very threads that weave the fabric of one's identity. Each piece of information, whether it's a personal struggle, a cherished memory, or a moment of vulnerability, contributes to the person's sense of self. When these elements are exposed without consent, they leave the individual vulnerable to judgment, misunderstanding, and the harsh light of the outside world. Imagine for a moment how you would feel if your most vulnerable fears or treasured experiences were shared carelessly by someone else. Wouldn't it wound your sense of dignity and trust? The betrayal of confidence can be profoundly painful, often leaving scars that are difficult, if not impossible, to heal. The person who shares their private matters does so with the hope that you will treat them with care and respect. When that trust is violated, it's not just the immediate loss of respect that lingers, it's the damage to the relationship itself, often irreparable. On the flip side, safeguarding someone's private matters is not only an act of respect toward them but also a reflection of your character. When you protect the confidence of another, you are demonstrating maturity, integrity, and an awareness of the boundaries that govern healthy relationships. It's a choice that highlights your understanding that trust is something far too precious to be taken lightly. This silent act of protection becomes a gift, not only to the person whose privacy you've upheld but also to yourself. By honoring others' spaces, you foster respect, deepen connection, and strengthen the trust that forms the basis of lasting relationships. Think of trust as a delicate glass ornament, beautiful but fragile. Once broken, it may be difficult or impossible to restore. A seemingly small breach, such as revealing someone's private matters, can lead to far-reaching consequences. Trust eroded can result in broken relationships, damaged reputations, and lingering doubts about one's integrity. In contrast, preserving the confidentiality of others fosters an atmosphere of respect, where both parties feel safe and valued. Over time, this quiet act of respect tends to ripple outward, often bringing blessings into your own life in unexpected ways. There is a quiet beauty in choosing silence, in allowing others to guard their own stories and personal truths. When we respect others' privacy, we are not merely stepping back from their personal lives but demonstrating an inner strength and understanding that few possess. This quiet strength creates the conditions for trust to flourish, allowing us to form deeper, more meaningful connections. Ultimately, the decision is yours. Will you honor the trust placed in you and demonstrate the depth of your character? Or will you risk losing something far more valuable than momentary gossip or fleeting curiosity? The choice you make defines who you are and shapes the kind of relationships you want to build. Let respect be your guide, and you will create bonds that stand resilient and unwavering, reflecting the quiet dignity of true integrity. 2. Do not speak harsh words in anger. When anger grips our hearts, it often feels like a storm surging within, intense and uncontrollable. In those moments, we are driven by a surge of emotion that clouds our judgment, compelling us to say things we don't truly mean. It's as though our words become weapons, sharp and cutting, capable of inflicting deep wounds on the ones we care about the most. The power of anger-driven words lies not only in their intensity but in their lasting impact. Once spoken, they cannot be undone, no matter how much time may pass. Have you ever spoken in anger only to regret it later, haunted by the memory of the pain you caused? I have. The guilt that follows is heavy and persistent, like carrying a burden that never fully lifts. The hurt lingers, making us wish we could rewind and undo the damage. But words, once uttered, carry weight. They possess a permanence that actions sometimes lack, and they have the potential to either mend or break relationships. The truth is that harsh words spoken in anger offer only a temporary release for the speaker. The relief may feel momentary, but the pain it leaves for the receiver can be enduring. Words can build trust and connection, but they can just as easily destroy what took years to build. This is why, in those moments when anger surges within, silence can be one of the most powerful responses we can offer. It takes immense strength to choose silence when everything inside you urges you to lash out. Holding back doesn't signify weakness. It reflects a quiet, yet profound wisdom. Silence in the face of anger creates a space for reflection, for reason to return when emotions are running high. It's not an easy choice, but it's a necessary one if we wish to preserve the relationships that truly matter. I've come to understand this through personal experiences, times when I spoke too much, too quickly, and inflicted harm unintentionally. I've carried the weight of regret from those moments. Yet, I've also discovered the healing power of restraint, when holding back and choosing silence allowed the dust to settle, and understanding to take root again. It's not always easy to stay silent when anger urges us to speak, but silence can be a gift, both to ourselves and others. The next time you feel the surge of anger rising within you, take a deep breath and resist the impulse to speak. Let the heat cool, and remind yourself that words hold profound power. They can heal, but they can also destroy. By choosing silence, you protect not only those around you but also yourself from the deep regret and heartbreak that often follow harsh words. Silence isn't a sign of weakness. It's a courageous act of love and compassion. It allows time for clarity to emerge, for peace to be restored, and for relationships to remain intact. In those moments, remember, silence is not an absence, it's a presence of strength and self-awareness. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. Do not hastily judge another person's character in our daily lives. It's almost second nature for us to form judgments about others based on what we see, hear, or assume. But how often do we truly pause to reflect if what we know is the full picture? There's an age-old truth that resonates deeply. You cannot understand another person's story unless you've walked a mile in their shoes. And yet, how rarely do we take that walk or even attempt to imagine what someone else's journey might be like? This concept is vividly illustrated in a deeply moving story that captures the essence of judgment, loss, and empathy, the core of the human experience. One quiet afternoon, a doctor quickly donned his white coat and made his way to the hospital for an emergency surgery. The call had come unexpectedly. He wasn't scheduled to work that day, but the boy on the operating table was critically ill, and time was of the essence. In the waiting room outside the operating theater, the boy's father paced anxiously. His worry soon turned into frustration, and his frustration turned into anger as he waited for the doctor to arrive. When the doctor finally appeared, the father lashed out. "Why did it take you so long? Don't you realize this is a matter of life and death? Saving my son's life is more important than whatever you were doing at home." The doctor, maintaining his composure, replied gently, "I'm sorry. Today was not my day to be on call, but I came as soon as I was contacted. Please try to stay calm while I prepare for the surgery." But the father, blinded by fear and pain, wasn't ready to listen. Stay calm? Would you say that if your son were on the operating table? How could you possibly understand what I'm going through? If you were in my shoes, you'd know the terror of losing someone you love. The doctor said nothing. He simply turned and entered the operating room. For 4 long hours, he worked tirelessly, performing the delicate surgery that would ultimately save the boy's life. When he finally emerged, his face was pale with exhaustion, but he offered the father a faint smile. "Your son is out of danger now. Thank God for his mercy," he said. "If you have further questions, the nurse will assist you." Without waiting for thanks, the doctor left as quickly as he had come. The father's anger, though less intense, still simmered. "How arrogant," he muttered. "He saved my son, but he didn't even have the decency to explain more. How can someone be so cold?" Hearing this, the nurse standing nearby could no longer hold back her tears. "Sir," she said, her voice trembling, "the doctor lost his only son in a car accident yesterday. Today was the funeral, but when we called him, he left the service immediately to come here. Now that the surgery is done, he's returned to mourn his child." The father was stunned into silence. His anger dissolved, replaced by a wave of shame and sorrow. How cruel his words must have been to a man quietly bearing such a heavy burden. He realized too late that he had mistaken composure for indifference and duty for detachment. In truth, the doctor's actions had been nothing short of heroic, setting aside his grief to save another's child. This story carries a crucial lesson. We can never truly know what lies behind someone's actions, their words, or their silence. Every person carries unseen battles, hidden sorrows, and private struggles. Judging them based on fleeting interactions or superficial impressions only reveals our lack of understanding. In moments like these, how much better it would be to offer patience, kindness, and the benefit of the doubt. When we judge others hastily, we not only risk causing them deep pain, but we also deny ourselves the opportunity to grow in empathy. Imagine for a moment if we stepped into their shoes. Would we have their strength, their grace under pressure? Would we carry our burdens as quietly and courageously as they do? Likely not. Instead of rushing to criticize, let us learn to pause. A kind word, a moment of understanding, or even silence can be a balm to wounds we cannot see. Hasty judgments, on the other hand, can leave scars that may never heal. Compassion and respect are among the most valuable gifts we can give, and the world would be a kinder place if we offered them more freely. So, the next time we're tempted to judge someone, let us remember this story. Let us consider what might lie beneath their actions and choose to respond with gentleness instead. In doing so, we honor not only them but the humanity we all share. 4. Do not use words that damage someone's honor. Words hold incredible power, far beyond their surface meaning. They have the ability to either uplift and encourage or wound and destroy. Like seeds, words are capable of flourishing into acts of kindness, connection, and respect, or they can grow into resentment, isolation, and mistrust. Once spoken, they take root and can linger in the hearts and minds of others, shaping relationships, attitudes, and even lives in ways we might not anticipate. Harsh words, particularly those intended to wound or damage someone's honor, reveal far more about the speaker than the recipient. They are not a sign of strength or superiority, but rather a reflection of insecurity and emotional fragility. The person who lashes out often does so out of a desire to diminish another's worth, mistakenly believing that by tearing someone else down, they will rise above. But this mindset is flawed. Cruel words do not elevate, they degrade. They do not build, they destroy. When you attack someone's dignity with malicious language, you diminish their value and erode your own. In doing so, you create a divide, both from those around you and within yourself. The respect others once had for you diminishes, replaced by caution or distance, as people instinctively guard against the toxic energy that such speech often carries. I have witnessed many who indulge in bitter, venomous speech, believing it empowers them in some way, only to discover later that it has led to loneliness, resentment, and isolation. Words meant to harm don't solve issues. They exacerbate them, turning potential allies into adversaries and friends into strangers. These individuals may find themselves isolated, their relationships fractured, all while their bitterness festers and grows. The emotional poison they create ultimately leaves them trapped within their walls of regret, alienation, and despair. In moments of frustration, it may feel easier to lash out or say something cutting. But the cost of these words is often far greater than we realize. A single unkind word can unravel years of trust and closeness. It can create wounds that last far beyond the moment they were spoken. This is why choosing kind words isn't merely a social nicety. It's a form of strength, self-control, and emotional maturity. It requires patience, restraint, and the discipline to think before we speak. The old saying, "A slip of the tongue can bring disaster," is a reminder of the importance of reflection before we let our words escape. Imagine a world where every person paused to think before they spoke. How much more harmony, empathy, and respect would prevail? How many broken hearts could be healed simply by choosing to offer kindness instead of harshness? Kindness in speech is not just a gift we give to others, it's a gift we give ourselves. It creates a life filled with warmth, connection, and peace rather than bitterness and regret. By choosing gentle and thoughtful words, we not only preserve relationships but also nurture our inner peace and character. Words may be invisible, but their impact can be profound, so let us choose them wisely. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 5. Do not judge someone's family background. Have you ever taken a moment to reflect on the fact that none of us had any control over the circumstances of our birth? We don't choose the family into which we are born, the wealth or poverty that surrounds us, or the privileges or challenges that shape our early lives. These are outcomes largely shaped by the random course of life and, in many cases, factors beyond our control. It's a profound realization that much of what we inherit, whether financial stability, societal status, or cultural identity, is not of our own making. Yet, so often, these external circumstances become the basis upon which we are judged. Family background, for instance, plays a significant role in shaping who we become. Growing up in a family where wealth and privilege are the norm can provide opportunities, access, and ease that others may not have. However, wealth in itself is not a guarantee of a person's worth. A mansion filled with material wealth does not automatically equate to a life rich in compassion, integrity, or genuine human connection. A person who grows up in such surroundings may have all the external trappings of success but lack the internal values that truly define character. Imagine a home filled with luxuries but devoid of love, compassion, and selflessness. It becomes little more than an empty shell, existing without purpose beyond its superficial appearance. On the other hand, consider someone who may have come from humble beginnings, perhaps raised in a small, modest household, or one struggling with financial hardship. Yet, this person, despite limited resources, may possess an extraordinary inner wealth. Their heart may be filled with generosity, empathy, and a desire to uplift others. They may offer kindness in ways that no amount of material wealth could replicate. There's a quiet resilience and strength that emerges from such humble beginnings. People who have faced adversity often develop a depth of character that shines brighter than any material possessions ever could. This is what makes judging someone's worth based on their family background or financial standing so dangerous. Wealth is transient. It comes and goes like the tide. A person basking in affluence today may face unforeseen challenges that strip away their comforts tomorrow. Conversely, someone who has known hardship might rise to extraordinary heights of kindness, humility, and compassion when given the chance. This is why it is futile, and even harmful, to measure someone's value by their bank account or the status of their family. To despise someone for their poverty or idolize someone for their riches is to overlook the very essence of what makes us human. Wealth is fleeting, but a generous spirit, an unwavering integrity, and a heart that seeks to uplift others are enduring qualities. These qualities have a lasting impact, shaping lives, creating meaningful connections, and leaving a legacy that extends far beyond material wealth. In contrast, wealth, while valuable in many ways, is not what defines someone's true character. To value someone based on their financial status is to miss the deeper, more important truths of who they are. True wealth lies not in the abundance of material possessions, but in humility, compassion, and the ability to uplift those around us. Life has taught me this invaluable lesson. It is the nobility of a person's character, the way they treat others, and the love they offer that leaves a lasting legacy. Not the coins or bills they may amass or the lineage into which they were born. Money may come and go, but the goodness of a person's heart echoes on, leaving an impact that surpasses anything material. Let us strive to value what truly matters: our character, our kindness, and the ways we contribute to the lives of others. 6. Do not scorn another's education or knowledge. Life is a tapestry woven from countless unique threads, each representing individual strengths and weaknesses. Just as you wouldn't put a fish against a cat in a swimming race or expect a turtle to match the speed of a rabbit, it's unfair and unwise to measure others by a single standard, especially when it comes to education and knowledge. True wisdom lies in understanding that education is not the ultimate yardstick of a person's value. A degree, title, or expertise may reflect one's accomplishments, but they cannot capture the richness of experience, the depth of character, or the kindness of spirit. Some of the most profound lessons come from the unlikeliest teachers: children, elders, or even those whom society overlooks. Life is full of opportunities to learn from people whose paths we might not typically cross. These overlooked teachers often carry wisdom shaped by unique life experiences. They may not have formal education or titles, but their perspectives are no less valuable. They often possess insights that aren't found in textbooks or classrooms. To dismiss their knowledge is to deny yourself the chance to grow in understanding. To look down on someone else's knowledge or education is to expose the cracks in your understanding. People who criticize or belittle others often carry the weight of their insecurities, projecting their fears outward. They believe their achievements or credentials make them superior when in reality, this mindset reflects a shallow sense of self-worth. In contrast, truly wise individuals embrace humility. They recognize that no matter how much they know, there is always more to learn. They approach every interaction as an opportunity to gain fresh insights, to gain a deeper understanding of life, and to grow beyond their current limitations. The willingness to listen and the eagerness to learn are marks of a person who values growth over pride. Beware of falling into the trap of self-satisfaction, a dangerous place where you stop growing, stop questioning, and stop evolving. When you believe you have nothing left to learn, you miss out on life's richness. It's easy to criticize others, to find fault with their perspectives, but that energy is better spent nurturing your growth. Instead of fixating on others' flaws or shortcomings, redirect that focus inward. Strive to improve yourself, treat others with respect, and extend kindness wherever you can. Humility, kindness, and respect are the cornerstones of wisdom. There is something deeply beautiful about a person who values others not for their accolades or achievements, but for their humanity. By respecting those around you and remaining curious about the world, you not only cultivate your worth but also earn the respect and admiration of those who witness your actions. Life is a journey of mutual learning, where each person has something valuable to offer. Embrace it with an open heart, and you'll discover wisdom in the most unexpected places. In doing so, you begin to appreciate the interconnectedness of all human experiences. No one's journey is the same, and everyone has a unique contribution to make. By honoring others' knowledge and perspectives, you enhance your understanding of the world. Education and credentials may shape outward success, but they don't always reflect internal wisdom. The journey of self-awareness and compassion often begins when we recognize that we are all students of life, regardless of where we stand in the world. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 7. Do not boast or exaggerate. It's incredibly tempting to boast or exaggerate when we feel the need to validate our worth or prove our capabilities to others. Whether driven by insecurity or the desire for recognition, boasting often becomes a shield we use to mask our doubts or insecurities. But have you ever truly considered the impact of boasting? Though boasting may initially draw attention, it rarely sustains respect or admiration. Those who rely on boasting are often left with fleeting admiration at best, only to see that admiration fade over time. Boasting and exaggeration are like trying to wrap ourselves in a false sense of grandeur, something that may appear attractive from a distance, but as time goes on, cracks begin to show, revealing the truth beneath. Truth, no matter how cleverly concealed, has a remarkable way of surfacing in due time. It's like a needle hidden deep within a sack. Eventually, it will poke through. At first, People may be drawn to the allure of exaggerated claims, believing them to be impressive or worthwhile. But as time goes by, the initial excitement fades. The facade wears thin, leaving behind the bare reality. The admiration that once seemed so readily given often turns to disappointment, and trust, once lost, is extremely difficult to rebuild. When trust is broken, the perception of someone can become irrevocably altered. People may no longer see us as credible or reliable, and the credibility we once enjoyed begins to diminish. In contrast, I have always believed that authenticity speaks volumes, often much louder than words ever could. Actions, not grandiose claims, are the truest indicators of character and value. Think about the people you've encountered who have quietly achieved greatness. They didn't need a spotlight or the applause of others to validate their efforts. Their success, though sometimes understated, carried a quiet confidence that spoke for itself. These individuals don't need to boast because their accomplishments stand tall on their merit. They don't have to shout to be heard, just as the earth doesn't need noise to support life. It simply does what it was made to do. Silent, steady, and steadfast, their impact ripples far and wide. In a world that often celebrates loudness, flash, and external validation, it takes genuine courage to embrace quiet confidence. The person who focuses on doing rather than talking cultivates a form of respect that endures, not because they seek attention, but because their actions demand it. People begin to notice not out of obligation, but because your deeds reflect the authenticity of your character. And isn't that the kind of respect we all long for? The kind that comes from what we earn, not what we boast about. True respect grows from the foundation of integrity, and it's something that cannot be manufactured or faked. So if you feel the urge to boast or exaggerate, take a moment to reflect on what you're truly seeking. Are you searching for validation, admiration, or approval from others? If so, remind yourself that true success requires no boasting. It speaks for itself. Let your actions, rather than your words, be the evidence of your worth. Let your efforts shine brightly, and trust that the respect you seek will come naturally, without the need for grand declarations. Authenticity is the greatest gift you can offer the world, and yourself. 8. Do not waste effort explaining your sincerity to those who won't understand. Life often unfolds like a vast, winding road filled with twists and turns, each one revealing new faces, encounters, and experiences. Along this journey, not everyone we cross paths with will perceive life the way we do, nor will they always walk beside us in harmony. This realization can be profoundly disheartening, especially when we invest time, energy, and sincerity into someone, only to have our efforts dismissed, ignored, or completely misunderstood. It's a painful truth, one that feels both liberating and difficult to accept. Not everyone is destined to understand you, and that is entirely okay. The people who truly care about you, who cherish the core of who you are, won't require lengthy explanations. They recognize your sincerity through your actions, your kindness, and the way you navigate life. Their understanding comes from observing who you are, not from the need for verbal confirmation. On the flip side, those who are either unwilling or incapable of truly grasping your essence will remain closed off, no matter how hard you try to reach them. Some hearts are simply not open to receiving what we have to offer, and trying to force that connection will only exhaust you. Rather than wasting your precious energy attempting to convince those who don't understand you, focus instead on living with unwavering integrity. Let your actions do the talking. Over time, the truth tends to reveal itself more clearly than we often anticipate. When it does, those who once doubted may begin to see things differently, or they may not. Regardless, you remain steadfast, unaffected by their judgments, knowing that your worth isn't dependent on their understanding. In moments of misunderstanding, choose peace over conflict. Holding on to your inner calm becomes a source of strength, a quiet, dignified strength that silently declares, "I know who I am, and I don't need your approval to validate that." Silence in such moments isn't a sign of weakness. It's a profound assertion of self-confidence, a refusal to be swayed by opinions that don't align with your truth. There is immense power in letting go of battles that don't serve your peace. Staying grounded in your values, even when others fail to see their importance, fosters a deeper sense of self-respect. Life will always test your patience, your resilience, and your ability to release control over what isn't yours to change. But it will also reward you with the gift of self-awareness and inner peace, a peace that isn't contingent on others' acceptance or understanding. When you internalize this truth, You'll realize your worth is not measured by anyone else's understanding. Trust that the right people, the ones meant to walk alongside you, will recognize the beauty of your sincerity without needing you to explain a single word. In their presence, you'll find the peace of knowing that not everyone needs to understand you for you to be understood in the most meaningful ways. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 9. Do not make unnecessary requests of others. Life is a delicate balancing act, where every person carries their own unique set of responsibilities, struggles, and aspirations. Each of us faces challenges, whether big or small, that require time, energy, and attention. When we make repeated requests of others without true necessity or consideration, we unknowingly add a burden to their already full plates. Over time, this can erode the strength of our connections. Even the most patient, caring, and selfless individuals have their limits, and if we are constantly leaning on them, they may begin to feel unappreciated, taken for granted, and emotionally drained. What once felt like an unshakable bond can begin to quietly unravel, leaving us with relationships that feel distant and hollow. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons valuable, please leave a comment with the word "Tobe" below to let me know you're still here with me. It's a small gesture that helps me understand you're engaged in this journey with me. When we lean on others too often, it doesn't only place a strain on our relationships, it can also chip away at our sense of self-worth. There is an inherent beauty in knowing when to rely on others, but this beauty lies in moments of genuine need, not in constantly seeking assistance for every minor inconvenience. True love, true care, is demonstrated when people choose to help, not out of obligation but because they want to, because they genuinely care. But if we continuously test their limits and ask for help without thoughtful consideration, we risk losing the very essence of what makes their support meaningful. The beauty of receiving help fades when it's taken for granted, just as a kind gesture loses its value when repeated without genuine need. To build and maintain lasting, fulfilling relationships, it's essential to prioritize self-reliance. When we take the initiative to handle what we can on our own, we empower not just ourselves but also those around us. By doing so, we demonstrate that we respect their time and energy, and we allow them to feel appreciated for the unique contributions they make to our lives. Moreover, handling our struggles creates a sense of accomplishment and a quiet pride in knowing that we can navigate challenges without always leaning on others. True independence is not a loud boast but a quiet, inner triumph that inspires both self-respect and admiration from others. Words are powerful tools, and they serve as mirrors to the heart. There is an ancient truth captured by the Roman writer Phaedrus, who once said, "Speech is the mirror of the soul." Words can reflect the depth of our inner being, and when we stop to consider their impact, we realize that the way we communicate, whether with thoughtfulness, kindness, or harshness, reveals much about our character. How often do we pause to reflect on how our words shape the world around us? The tone we use, the choice of language, and the intent behind our speech, these things say more about us than we may realize. Those who are wise, compassionate, and truly thoughtful tend to speak sparingly. They choose their words carefully, understanding that not everything requires a response, and not every thought needs to be shared. A single kind word can uplift someone's spirit, while a harsh or thoughtless comment can leave emotional scars that endure long after the words are spoken. Kind, beautiful words cost us nothing but can bring immeasurable joy to others. And when kindness is not possible, silence, though powerful, is a wise companion. Silence is not an absence of communication but rather a space where reflection, understanding, and peace can grow. Silence, when used intentionally, becomes more than just the absence of noise. It becomes a shield against unnecessary conflict and a gateway to deeper understanding. In the quiet, we hear not only the voices of others but also the whispers of our hearts. Choosing when to speak and when to listen is a skill that can bring profound peace, both to our inner world and to our relationships. The act of choosing silence is often an act of self-care, one that demonstrates a deep respect for the rhythm of life, our emotional well-being, and the quality of our connections with others. A personal note to you, my dear viewers. Life often feels like an uphill battle, where each effort to move forward is met with challenges that seem insurmountable. The winds of hardship may howl in our faces, and the waves of adversity may threaten to capsize our hopes, but here's a truth I've learned over time. You don't have to fight every current. Not every battle is worth the struggle. As we age and grow wiser, we begin to realize that some fights are better left unwaged. We learn to slow down, to breathe, and to let go of what we cannot control. This surrender, this acceptance, brings an indescribable peace, a warmth that comes from treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion that you extend to others. 1. Keep your ears quiet. There is a profound piece of wisdom in the Analects of Confucius that states, "At 60, I could hear without being upset." These simple words, though short, carry with them a lifetime of wisdom. By the time you reach your 60s, you've weathered life's many storms, experiencing both moments of joy and sorrow, triumph and failure. These experiences shape us, teaching us to distinguish between what truly matters and what is simply noise. As we age, we begin to understand that not every word spoken deserves our attention or reaction. When we are young, our ears are often like an open door, letting in every bit of praise, criticism, gossip, and insult. The sting of a careless remark can easily trigger anger or hurt feelings. How many of us have spent sleepless nights replaying hurtful words or imagining conversations that, in hindsight, had no real value? 3. As we grow older, however, we develop the strength to selectively filter the noise. We learn to tune in to words that are kind, wise, or helpful, and to let go of the baseless criticism or negative remarks that serve only to bring us down. 4. Fade into silence. Life is far too short and precious to be consumed by the opinions of others, especially when they are petty, mean-spirited, or irrelevant. When we allow negativity to take root in our minds, it steals away our peace, joy, and even our health. Choosing silence in the face of provocation is not weakness. Rather, it is a quiet triumph, a testament to the strength and resilience of a calm heart. Now, I view this practice not as a limitation but as a form of liberation. Keeping your ears quiet means reclaiming your focus, protecting your inner sanctuary, and choosing peace over discord. It's a powerful reminder that what others say often reveals more about them than it does about you. 5. Imagine a still lake, perfectly reflecting the sky above, untouched by ripples or disturbance. This image is a symbol of the gift that comes with a quiet heart. When your soul is undisturbed by unnecessary noise, the world around you becomes infinitely more beautiful. Conversations deepen, relationships strengthen, and the small joys in life become all the more meaningful. By learning to filter out the irrelevant, we discover a level of peace and serenity we may not have known was possible. So, keep your ears quiet, not out of indifference or apathy, but out of love for the clarity, tranquility, and freedom that life can offer. When you choose to tune out the noise, to let the world's chaos flow around you, you are left with the music of a life well lived. To view life with a tolerant and open heart, Confucius once shared a profound and timeless truth. The wise seek harmony, but they do not necessarily conform. This ancient wisdom serves as a powerful reminder that every individual is a unique tapestry, woven with their dreams, values, and choices. Each person carries their narrative, shaped by experiences that are as distinct as their fingerprints. The essence of inner peace lies not in demanding that the world bend to our ideals, but in accepting the beauty of diversity without forcing our beliefs or standards onto others. In our youth, impatience often clouds our vision, and expectations can lead to frustration when the world doesn't align with the perfect picture we've created in our minds. In these moments, it's easy to assume that our perspective is the only correct one, that our way of thinking or living is the most valid. Yet, as time unfolds, life humbles us, teaching us a powerful lesson. No two journeys are ever the same, and each person's path is uniquely their own. By learning to open our hearts and minds to the rich variety of human experiences, we begin to shed the emotional burdens that weigh us down. This openness allows space for empathy, understanding, and connection. Tolerance, in this sense, is not just a gift we give others, but one we give ourselves. It is like planting seeds of joy, gratitude, and peace within our souls. Instead of fixating on the flaws or imperfections around us, we can make a conscious effort to focus on the beauty that surrounds us. When we pause and truly appreciate the simple elegance of nature, the rustling of leaves in the breeze, or the vibrant red of blooming flowers, we become aware of the world's quiet miracles. These small moments of appreciation fill us with a sense of gratitude, uplifting our spirits and helping us see life in its true, radiant form. Tolerance, then, is not simply about how we relate to others. It's about fostering a deep sense of inner peace. When we let go of judgment and embrace acceptance, we create a life that feels lighter, freer, and full of beauty. In this practice of acceptance, we don't merely coexist with others. We thrive. We must also learn to value and care for ourselves, particularly as we age. There is a timeless truth in the saying, being able to eat is a blessing. For older individuals, the joy of savoring a simple, well-prepared meal becomes one of life's most profound pleasures. It's not just about sustenance, it's about honoring the body that has carried us through decades of experiences, challenges, and triumphs. Food, in this context, becomes a celebration of life itself, a reminder that even the most mundane aspects of our daily routine hold extraordinary significance. As we grow older, it can be easy to fall into the trap of excessive frugality, placing the importance of saving above the necessity of self-care. Yet, what good is accumulated wealth if your health has deteriorated as a result of neglecting yourself? No amount of money can restore the vitality or comfort you lose when you fail to nurture your body and mind. You deserve more than that. You've spent countless years caring for others, meeting responsibilities, and making sacrifices for the well-being of those around you. Now, it is time to offer yourself the same love, care, and attention you've so freely given to others. Anxiety, stress, and worry are silent thieves of joy, often robbing us of the simple pleasures of life, like the enjoyment of a meal. Skipping meals or treating food as an afterthought harms not just the body, but the soul as well. It deprives us of moments of connection, appreciation, and fulfillment. Each bite you take is a quiet act of self-compassion, a promise to yourself that you are worthy of care and attention, that your presence in this world matters. Take a moment to savor your meals, to appreciate the textures, the flavors, and the experience of eating. Let each meal serve as a reminder of the beauty of the present moment. Life may not always be grand or extraordinary, but a thoughtfully prepared meal enjoyed in peace and gratitude can be. Eating well is not merely a necessity, it's an act of honoring life itself. Cherish each meal as a gift, treat yourself with kindness, and live in the now. The small acts of care you take today, like appreciating your meals and tending to your health, will accumulate into a graceful and fulfilling old age. Ultimately, it's not about how much you've saved or how many sacrifices you've made. It's about how deeply you've lived, loved, and cared for yourself along the way. Along with nourishment, maintaining health through daily exercise is crucial. There's an old and wise saying, flowing water does not rot, a constantly turned axle does not get eaten by worms. This simple yet profound metaphor speaks to the natural vitality that movement sustains. Just as flowing water remains pure and fresh, and a turning axle avoids decay, the human body thrives when it remains active. Exercise is not only about physical activity, it's a celebration of life itself. No matter what age you are, movement brings a host of benefits that go beyond just physical health. It nurtures the mind, uplifts the spirit, and reinforces the resilience that lies within. Even in their 70s or 80s, some individuals find joy in a morning jog, the serenity of yoga, or the simple rhythm of a daily walk. These individuals radiate vitality, inspiring others to see that age is not a limitation, but rather a testament to the strength of will, consistency, and habit. Exercise, therefore, becomes more than just a means of maintaining physical health. It becomes a pathway to a life that is full, vibrant, and ever-growing. On the other hand, those who allow themselves to abandon movement often find their bodies and lives confined to a much smaller space. The consequences of inactivity are undeniable. As the days slip by, muscles grow stiff, joints become less flexible, and even the simplest tasks can seem daunting. When movement is neglected, life becomes more constrained and limited by the absence of action. If you're still watching this video and finding these lessons helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Please comment 3 below to let me know you're still here with me, still engaged, and committed to making positive changes. Remember, it's never too late to start. You don't have to jump in with something intense. Start with small steps. Maybe it's a gentle stretch to loosen your muscles, a brief walk around the block to get your heart pumping, or a few minutes of deep, mindful breathing paired with simple movements. Every drop of sweat, no matter how small, becomes a powerful remedy for the aging process. It's a revitalizing force that replenishes your energy and helps protect your long-term health. As you move your body, you're doing so much more than just strengthening your muscles. You're actively choosing vitality over stagnation, joy over lethargy, and independence over the frailty that often comes with inactivity. I truly believe that each step you take, each stretch you reach, and each lift you complete is a form of self-love, a clear message to your body and mind that you deserve to feel alive, strong, and capable. Exercise is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, a tangible reminder that your body is a temple that deserves to be cared for and cherished. So, today, take the time to move. For the person you want to be in the future, for the energy, joy, and health that await you in the years to come. The choices you make now will echo into tomorrow. At the same time, it's important to keep your emotions stable and your mind calm. Life, as we know, is often unpredictable, throwing curveballs that veer us far off course from the plans we so carefully lay out. And yet, isn't that unpredictability one of life's greatest mysteries and, in many ways, its beauty? However, when life's challenges come knocking, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and trapped in a whirlwind of negative emotions. These emotions can take a toll, not only on your mental and emotional well-being but also on your physical health. It's important to remember, though, that nothing is permanent. Every hardship, no matter how intense it may seem in the moment, will eventually pass with time. What feels insurmountable today may, in the grand scheme of things, turn out to be nothing more than a distant memory tomorrow. One of the greatest gifts you can offer yourself is the ability to let go. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It means refusing to let those difficult moments dictate the course of your happiness. Letting go is about releasing the weight of negative emotions and choosing to rise above them. Adopting a mindset of lightness and joy is not merely about surviving. It's about truly thriving. Imagine waking up every day with a heart that's unburdened by past grievances, ready to embrace the beauty and simplicity that each new day brings. That's the key to living a full and vibrant life. There's a saying I love: time cannot be pursued, nor can the years be stopped. It's a humbling reminder that the passage of time is beyond our control. The clock never stops ticking, and each moment is fleeting. So why waste your precious energy on trivial matters that won't even matter a year from now? Instead, focus on the true treasures of this stage in your life: your health, your emotional balance, and your inner peace. These aren't just lofty ideals. They are the foundations of a meaningful and fulfilling life. They are the anchors that will sustain you through any storm. As you move through this season of life, take the time to cherish yourself. Slow down and take in the moment: the warmth of sunlight on your face, the sound of a loved one's laughter, the serenity of a quiet evening. The past, no matter how bittersweet, is behind you and beyond change. But right now, in this very moment, you have the power to shape your experience. Choose peace. Choose joy. Choose a life that radiates from the inside out, a life that reflects your strength and resilience. I believe in you and in the strength that lies within you. You deserve happiness, not as a distant dream, but as a tangible, everyday reality. Take a deep breath. Let go of what no longer serves you, and embrace the precious time you have left. I'm here, cheering you on every step of the way. Keep moving forward with purpose, and know that you have all the strength you need to create the life you deserve. Thank you for watching. Now that we've explored how our words, actions, and choices shape the relationships we have, I'd love to hear from you. What's one key takeaway you've learned today that you plan to bring into your life? Drop a comment below and share how you'll apply these insights to create stronger, more respectful connections with others. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss out on more valuable content. Your support helps us keep creating these videos. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.